Hey everyone, this is Nick from Mecha Warehouse, and today we're back with weekly update number 108. So let's do what we usually do. We'll kick things off with week in review. This is where we talk about what's been going on in the warehouse, things that are coming up, stuff like that. And first off, I really want to thank everybody for the kind words and the words of support with my mother-in-law. Kate saw them too, and we're really appreciative of all the support and everything. I figure people would want an update on that situation. Things are definitely progressing in the right direction. She was able to move over to a rehab facility on Friday last week, and likely will be discharged relatively soon, which is good, I think. Fun part of figuring out that is figuring out where and how things will work out for her, make sure she's safe. Not sure if she should be at home just yet and all that kind of stuff, but things are definitely going the right direction. She's fine right now and definitely doing way better than she was a week or two ago. So that's good stuff. Moving on to warehouse stuff though. I guess first off, we launched our pre-orders for the end of the year stuff, Witch from Mercury, MGEX, and a bunch of other stuff as well on Tuesday. We'll talk about during the pre-order section what those items are and a little bit more details about that. But that led to our largest day ever in terms of total sales on Tuesday. It beat out the next biggest day by a good 10 to 15%. So it was a really solid day for us. So thank you if you managed to pre-order on that day. A lot of that stuff, except for the MGEX, is still available. That's the only one that I think sold out relatively quickly. But all the Witch from Mercury stuff is still up. And we'll talk about that in more detail during the pre-order section. Next. So I feel kind of like a jerk almost, although it's not really my fault, but I take the blame for anything I do that goes wrong that I, in theory, could have anticipated, and I probably should have anticipated this. So we posted up the early bird stuff now, about a week and a half ago maybe. It was not this Tuesday, but the prior Tuesday. So early bird is that huge shipment we've got coming in. So my expectation was it was about to ship any moment when we posted those posted the early birds, which would be basically like a pre-order for the stuff that's supposed to be on the way. And for whatever reason, I mean, they told me it was I think it was like the week before we posted them, they said they were going to ship Friday or Monday. They were already picked, or mostly picked. They just need to be palletized, wrapped, and then shipped. And so the expectation was that they're coming really soon. Tuesday rolled around. We figured, okay, we didn't get tracking on Monday, but they're supposed to ship Friday or Monday. Worst case, they'll ship Tuesday, right? And I guess I should have known better because our suppliers aren't necessarily always great at shipping things on time. It happens in the past, and 18 pallets is the largest shipment we've ever received, so maybe we should have anticipated that they wouldn't ship them on time. So Tuesday, they didn't come yet. Later in the week, I reached out to them. I asked, when do you think these are going to ship? What's going on? The story I got that second time, Friday or Monday. So this is now the following Friday or Monday from the initial estimate. Okay, great. Worst case, they'll ship Monday and they'll be on their way. Monday rolls around, they haven't shipped yet. So I called them on Tuesday, I think. I had some other questions and things I had to sort out too. And when I'm talking to them, I asked, what's the status on these? They should be going really soon. Worst case, Wednesday. Or if we're lucky, Wednesday, I guess, might have been what they said, but they figured it'd be Wednesday. Well, today is now Thursday when I'm shooting this. I still don't have tracking for them. I presume it's any day now. I'm going to call them later today, and they're going to hopefully tell me, yep, they're about to go out. And it could be like before, and another week will roll by, and they're still about to go out. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. I'm gonna start getting a little more vocal about what do we need to do to make sure these get going, because this is getting ridiculous. So they are on their way. It's really frustrating because I thought they were going to show up before Black Friday, which would have been awesome because there's a lot of good stuff in that shipment. It's got the high-grade Shenlongs and the RG Gale Gaigars that we're behind on, and as well as a few other pre-orders, I think. And it's really, really frustrating. One of the most frustrating things as a business owner, business manager, whatever you want to call it, trying to run a business and not being able to predict anything because things aren't consistent places. They're not meeting what we expect from them and what they tell us. This is probably why a lot of places aren't super transparent with what's going on, because it's way easier to say, yeah, they'll get here when they get here, rather than try to say, here's when they're going to show up, and then have to change that estimate over and over again. So thank you for your patience. I'm so sorry for any delays on that stuff. And hopefully they'll be here soon. They did ship another 5-pallet shipment though earlier this week that I thought was going to come in the second batch, but apparently I misread an email. So that should be here on Wednesday, and with some luck we'll be restocking it Wednesday night to make sure it's up and ready to go for Black Friday. Okay, a couple of the things. We had a new hire this week. We hired Brooke. She started on Wednesday, yesterday, her first day. So that's going to help hopefully take off a little bit of the pressure, because we're going to get the stuff in. We're going to get to Black Friday, and I anticipate we're going to be slammed. So if you're placing Black Friday orders, things like that, I wouldn't expect orders starting on Black Friday to ship as fast as they usually do. Hopefully we'll be through that pretty quick, but I just don't know. We've got 2 packing stations. Brent's been back. He's back on the packing station, so we have the ability to run 2 packing stations consistently now without too much trouble, I think. So that's going to help a lot. We might add some like Saturday shifts to try to help dig out of that hole. But I expect between that, this huge shipment arriving, all that stuff, that things are not going to be as smooth as they normally are until we kind of get caught up on all that stuff. Since I did mention Black Friday, we cut a little bit of a Black Friday promo with all the details, so I'm just going to cut to that rather than tell you now all the details. This year we'll be kicking things off at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Thanksgiving, Thursday, November 24th. And we'll be doing 10% off all in-stock items using code THANKS22. In addition to the 10% off, we'll also be mixing in cards with some additional discounts or a gift card, depending on which tier you purchase in. So orders of $250 or more will have a chance at a $150 gift card or 10 or 15% off discount code. Orders of $150 or more will have a chance at a $50 gift card or a 10 or 15% off discount code. And orders of 50 or more will have a chance at a $20 gift card or a 10% off discount code. Those additional discount codes will expire May 31st, but they're a great way to kind of spread out your savings. Keep in mind that 10% off at Mecca Warehouse is really the equivalent of a much higher discount somewhere else due to us being in tax-free New Hampshire and our already super competitive pricing. So those are the details of the Black Friday sale. It's very similar to last year. Hopefully you get a chance to take advantage of it. That said, though, we are going to do this weekend, Friday through Sunday, an early access sale. So it's going to be 10% off specific in-stock items, select items. There'll be a collection. Link should be down in the description. Discount code will be early10, and you can take advantage of a lot of good items in that sale. So if you don't want to wait for Black Friday, or if there's stuff that you want to make sure you can get and get quickly, maybe you are participating in the Mecca Warehouse Secret Santa and you need to have your shipment shipped by early December, things like that. It'd be a good way to make sure you get that stuff going ASAP. All right, that is it for Week in Review. Let's do pre-orders. Like I said, we posted up pre-orders on Tuesday for the next quarter of Bondi stuff. We had 32 items from Bondi and 1 Kodo item, I think. First up, the MGEX, we are out of stock of those, but because I know people are going to ask or be interested in it, we only post up the first roughly half of what we get or got confirmed as pre-orders. And we did the same thing with the MGEX. So we have approximately the same amount of stuff available that will be coming in addition to what's already committed on pre-orders. That means when the restock arrives, when they come in stock, you will still be able to get them if you're quick. I can't guarantee how many they are. We make sure we don't allocate all of them as pre-orders because sometimes stuff shows up damaged and we don't want to be short because of damage and stuff like that. So as far as things that are still available, we've got the HG Ariel, HG Ilfrith, how do you pronounce it anyway? The Faract, the Gilles de Lanza, Choo Choo's Demi Trainer, the Darrow Blade, the Bigger Bow, something like that. Demi Trainer, de Lanza Standard Type, Lauda's de Lanza, the Figure Eyes Standard Soletta Mercury, the SDEX Aerial, the expansion part set for Demi Trainer, got some 30-minute missions, a Spinaccio Night Type, the Armored Assault Mecha version. That's pretty cool. It's kind of like almost like an egg-shaped mecha. I think it's a little smaller, like the submachines or whatever. Some more 30-minute sisters, options, hairstyle parts. I've got the Figure Eye Standard Murine Rembrandt. That's another witch figurized standard kit. Option part set 10 large propellant tank units, pretty cool if you want to add like propellant tanks to a kit. I think there's two new 30-minute sisters, the Laranel and Liranel. They're both kind of like bunny themed. One's a dark color scheme, one with a light color scheme. Action Base 6, which is like a figure base kind of base. I'm pretty sure that's new. Figurized standard Uma Musume Pretty Derby Tokai Teo. There's new Pokemon. That's the Gyarados. Mazinger Zero Infinitism. It's a high grade, so HG Mazinger stuff for the first time in a while. Go to page 2 here. Tons of stuff. The SD Gundam World Heroes Dark Grasper Dragon. Figurized Standard Ultraman Zero. Figurized Standard Master Rider Blade. So it's Common Rider Blade. There's a One Piece collection, Grand Ship Collection, Oro Jackson. Another Pokemon, the Alcremie. That just looks weird. Figurized Standard Ultraman Trigger Multi-Type. Another SD Gundam World Heroes Sun Quan Gundam Astray Heian Jinghu. It's a mouthful. The Figurized Standard Son Goku New Spec version. So I think that's almost like a revive or something of the Figurized Standard Goku. And then from Kotobukiya, Frame Arm Girls, Shimada, Humikane Artworks, Arcia, Another Color with FGM 148 type anti-tank missiles. So kind of a Frame Arms Girl kind of thing, cat ears, kind of cute. So that's it for pre-orders. Definitely jump on those. A lot of those Witch kits should be coming in relatively soon. That said, like I mentioned earlier, if our distributors are telling us they're going to ship something on one day and it takes them longer to ship, I've got no idea when they'll arrive, but they should in theory be starting to arrive sometime maybe in December, at least the ones that were supposed to be October production. All right, that's it for pre-orders. Let's move on to restocks. A lot of Koto restocks this week. Restocks. Got a lot of Kotobukiya stuff this week, a few other things as well. We'll start off with these. We got a whole bunch of Muv-Luv stuff. We got the Shiranui Second Phase 3 Yuya Bridges. This is a 1/144 scale kit. We also have the Active Eagle. F-15 Active Eagle, I think. The F-22 Raptor EMD Phase 2. We've got the, this is the EF-2000 Typhoon Cerebus Battalion type. And then we got another of these Shiranui Second Yuya Bridges Key version 1.5. This was a no-scale kit, I think. So it should be a little bit larger. And then we got one more over here. This is the SU-47E Burkut. So I've never built any of these Muv-Luv kits, but they definitely have kind of a different visual design to them. So it might be worth checking out if you're looking for something to break up the monotony of building just Gundams. Got a few Hexagear items as well this week. We got the V-Thor. Okay, so we got the V-Thor in. Interesting. Let's see if we got some other images here. So, big robot. Looks like big sword, big gun. Can't go wrong with that. We've got the Governor. This is the early Governor Volume 1. So these are in the Hexagear like universe, if you will. I think it's basically just a kit line that's not really based on an anime or anything. You've got the Governors, and then you got the actual like Hexagear units that they might pilot or whatever. So these are basically just a little small soldier kind of figure, and being early type, I think they're more realistic, quote unquote, than some of the other ones that are around. Comes with some weapons and things like that. There's also the Sig Springer Queen's Guard. I think we got the other Sig Springer in stock. And it's basically kind of like a horse. I think there's some options to combine it with other things or have some of the governors ride it. And I think you can even do some other kit bashing kinds of things with it. From Good Smile, we got the Simple Stand. We got both the black and clear versions. These are like little platforms. It appears, based on the packaging, that they come with parts so you can kind of adjust what the heights are, but these might be good for displaying small figures, accessories, and the like. Next set up here, we got a few Zoids in this week. First up, the Berserk Führer, basically big T-Rex Zoid. We also got the Great Saber, so big saber-toothed cat kind of design. That looks pretty cool with all the accessories. And the Pteris Bomber. I hate trying to pronounce that. So some interesting Zoids right there, and the Zoid kit I've built, they can be pretty solid builds. A lot of parts, definitely complex. We also got 4 that I'd say fall into like the Mecha Girl kind of category, although this one isn't really mecha. It's the Dark Magician Girl from Yu-Gi-Oh! And I think there's a very limited number of these. I expect these to sell out almost instantaneously. So if you're seeing this and you didn't already get one, you probably aren't getting one, at least not from us this time around. Bullet Knight's Executioner, so another interesting design here. Some cool weapons, cloak kind of features, things like that. Frame Arms Girl, Innocentia, Racer, and Nosaru. So this Nosaru is another kit from Kotobukiya, basically, and they packaged these two together to be thematically kind of the fit together. So might be interesting to you. And then from Suyata, another kind of Mecha Girl design. This is the Angela. Don't know too much about this particular kit. Obviously it has some wings and some interesting parts. Appears, we cracked one of the boxes open. It's got 2 different hair color parts at least. It's got the white and the brown. And it looks like it comes with some decals as well. Okay, last set here from looks like Xenoblade 2, the Siren. Don't know too much about this. I've never played that. I think that's a game, right? But pretty interesting looking design. Big wings, some accessories, stuff like that. Notchin tank prototype version, I believe. Tank prototype Notchin. So different color scheme. I think there might be a few minor differences to the mold itself from this compared to the other Notchins we've had in before. I've heard these are pretty cool builds though, so definitely worth checking out. We also got 2 kits from Ace Combat for the first time. I think that was a game as well. The CFA, they're both the same design, I guess. CFA 44. We've got the regular and the 4 Modelers edition, so they got basically a different color scheme. And I'm not sure if there's any mold differences between those two. It might just be a coloration thing. I'm gonna pop this open real quick. I see.
It wasn't different anyway.
Yeah, so there is a difference. So since they're easy to pop open, the regular one has multiple colors of plastic. The Modelers one appears to be all the same color. So if you plan on painting it, the Modelers one might be easier or better, but it probably doesn't really matter. So we got those. And then finally, we got a bunch of the model support goods from Kotobukiya as well. I'm not going to try to read off all the names on these ones because most of them are written purely in Japanese, and I can't read katakana that quickly. But various missiles, radomes, some weapons, some wing binder type things. There's a couple weapons. It's like some sort of lance halberd type weapon, etc. So if you're looking to customize your kits, definitely worth taking a look at. All right, that's it for restocks. Let's move on to Q&A. This is where I answer questions from you, the viewer. If you've got a question you want answered, post it down in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer it next week. All right, first up, Dylan Dahl. Would you consider having Patrick do a special video explaining the different aspects of the Mecha Girl lines, or at least how Option Parts Set works? I know he's a busy guy, but he's also into the Mecha Girl lines too. It's a great idea. My plan was to actually ask him before this. I had seen this comment and had it in my mind, but then this week happened and I didn't get a chance to, so I'll have to talk to him immediately after this. Next up, Plastic Germs. Question: have you ever considered making a gunpla Plamo beginners package or box, which would consist of a model kit or 2 nippers, file, and tweezers? So that's a great question. We were actually, as of a couple weeks ago, before I found out about this huge shipment, I had a plan to do a beginner's box, actually a series of beginner's boxes, each one with a theme, like a different skill set. and trying to package with it maybe some sort of video content that would be like a tutorial to go with it. So you can hand this kit to a new builder, this box or whatever, that might have a kit, might have the tools you need and kind of the overview of what you need to know to use those tools and build that kit. I could definitely see doing a box that maybe without the video content right now. The main thing is that once we found out how much was coming and how busy we're going to be, I just decided to not risk the I guess the time investment right now, where I just don't have a whole lot of time. I definitely could see doing it. We'll probably try to achieve something like that maybe early next year when things hopefully start to calm down a little bit. But that's a great idea. Let me know, guys, down in the comments if you'd be interested in a beginner box. Maybe we can put together, like an entry grade, nippers and some basic tools to have kind of like an easy button bundle for starting a new builder. Fun question from Plastic Germs. What movie or show would you recommend that you feel no one really knows or isn't as popular as known ones? Cough, GOT, and Yellowstone, cough. I don't know, Mike. So a lot of people don't know about The Expanse, unfortunately. I don't know why, because it's great. If you guys have been watching my content, you've probably heard me talk about The Expanse, though. I don't know what other shows people don't know about. Kate and I just started watching Jean-Claude Van Johnson, which is I think is an Amazon original from 2017 or something. It's like Jean-Claude Van Damme plays himself, but he's also like a secret agent or something. The movie's a cover for that or whatever. We're like 3 episodes in. I think it's only a 6-episode season, and it looks like they didn't do a second season, so I don't know how it ends or anything like that. But it's been entertaining. It's like an action comedy, and there've been some hilarious lines in there. I've been really enjoying that one. Okay. Now, Randall Morrison, what era timeline has your most favorite mobile suits and why? So my answer to that would be probably After Colony, aka Gundam Wing, and that's only because of like the nostalgia factor. I grew up on Gundam Wing. It was like my intro to the whole Gundam world, and something about it just hooks me. I mean, there's a ton of cool UC suits as well, but I'd have to say After Colony. If Bandai let you choose a theme for a new series in the future, what would you love to see Gundam take on thematically that they haven't already done? Oh, I don't know. I don't really. Was even more after this? No, that's okay. So, what would I like to see them do? New theme for a new series in the future. What would you love to see Gundam take on thematically that they haven't already done? I mean, they've already kind of done it with 8th MS Team, but I love for them to take like a major timeline and find the story that goes maybe with non-main characters, not the new type or the hero that's going to save the day for the whole universe or whatever, the whole everything, but that little story of that important thing that happened that random people get kind of shoved into, I think would be cool. It's kind of been done, but I think there's lots of opportunities for that kind of stuff. RDDN, good luck with everything with your mother-in-law. Prayers for you guys and hope for a quick recovery for Kate's mom. Thank you. Q&A. Any interest in bringing in car or tank or plane models? This is a great question, and the short answer is no. We're actually looking at a lot of stuff we're doing right now and are possibly going to be paring back what we're carrying in terms of certain types of kits. There's definitely places that require way more of our energy than the business results justify. If I can bring in a pallet of certain Gundam kits, for example, and sell that pallet of Gundam kits in a few months, yet it only takes building that product listing once, it doesn't take anywhere near as much mental effort, planning-wise, to do that, versus say, for example, a kit that's more obscure that we bring in only a handful of them and only sell a couple of those handful, and they sit in the shelf for a long time. It doesn't make a ton of sense for us. So things like tanks and planes and cars and stuff like that, I feel like would fall into that category. We've got plenty of cool mecha designs that are, adjacent to what we do normally that people don't seem to care about all that much. So I don't know why we'd want to bring in tanks and planes and that kind of stuff where it's going to be a very small percentage of our audience. That said, 2, 3, 5 years from now, maybe we want to get into that stuff because it's cool, but we'll have to figure out how to market to the people that build that stuff more regularly in order to make sure we have a customer base for it. So hopefully that answers the question. It really comes down to trying to make sure we put our money, time, and energy and space really on the things that will keep the business running and growing for now. And until we're ready to commit the extra energy, I don't really want to start working on that kind of stuff. And I think that's it for Q&A. So like I said before, if you have a question you want answered, post it down in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer it next time. Thank you for watching. See you next time.